the weather said it was 29 degrees. I said, that's gonna might be kind of tough at 10 o'clock, but it warmed up real quick. We got no breeze, so it's a beautiful morning. Welcome everybody here today for our Arbor Day celebration. There's a lot of people that have to be thanked for what went on in this park, and I'm sure they're going to go through it. But if anyone has been through here prior to 3 or 4 weeks ago, this was basically wooded land, and so between the Parks Department and the Conservation Commission and some of the community members, they all came together and made this happen. There's a lot of groups that are here today, and I'm sure they'll all be spoken to and all be thanked. But just to get festivities going, we have a couple of speakers we'd like to bring up. And I think first I'd like to bring up our Chair of the Select Board, Nancy Taylor. Thank you, Nancy.
Thank you, Peter. And thanks to everybody who is here today. This is such an incredible day. It's so exciting. I was principal of the Lawrence School in my past life, and so I have a real affinity for all of the space. I promise not to be too verbose, but I will get started. So as Paul noted in his brief history of Shiverick's Pond, this is not the first time the idea of creating an area of public parkland around Shiverick's Pond was proposed. Back in 1905, a wealthy summer resident named Henry Fay suggested creating a park around the pond, planted with hardy shrubs and trees, and even offered to donate the land for the purpose. And the town, unfortunately at that time, didn't take him up on his offer. Now, almost 120 years later, thanks to the dogged determination of Paul Dwyer, working with the 300 Committee, the Community Preservation Committee, and the DPW, and many, many others, we are now seeing Mr. Fay's vision become a reality. The Select Board sends a big vote of thanks to Paul and to everyone else who came together on this wonderful project to make Falmouth even nicer. So thank you. And I would like to introduce Jeremiah Pearson, Falmouth Park Superintendent.
Hello, everybody. Before I start, I just wanted to say, if you look at your agendas, I'm listed on there twice. For purposes of time, I'm just going to consolidate both those and just come up here once. As you can see, I got a lot to do and not too much time to finish. So good morning, everyone, and thank you for coming to Falmouth's 2024 Arbor Day festivities. Falmouth has a long-standing tradition of celebrating Arbor Day, and I am proud to say this is our 23rd year being recognized by the Arbor Day Foundation as a Tree City USA recipient. Having the status of Tree City is not by coincidence. It is through the Parks Department's hard work of preserving, planting, and caring for our town shade trees and green spaces. Proof of this is what you see here today. I'm not going to lie, this was a daunting task to take on. This park took several months of planning, designing, scouting for planting material, and finally getting all this stuff in the ground. Just a couple of weeks ago, this lot was nothing more than invasive volunteer growth that had no wildlife or ecological value. Now that all of that has been removed, we have restored the wetland buffer, our woodland, and returned biodiversity to support wildlife. So far for this project, we have planted 40 trees and 205 shrubs, all of which are native beneficial species. At this time, I would like to thank first off the 300 Committee for donating the land, Jed and Paul Dwyer from the Planning Board and all their hard work, to all of my extremely talented Parks Department staff for their countless hours of hard work and putting up with me for the last 2 weeks. I would also like to thank our Highway, Water, and Engineering Department for all of their time and assistance on this project. None of this would be possible without all their hard work. To all the fabulous group of volunteers we have here today, donating their time and effort. It was a great turnout. If you guys look around, these people are all volunteering their time for this. Also, great thanks to Bob Porto and his students at Lawrence School for building the kiosk to my left, as well as the Upper Cape Tech's horticulture students and staff. I am blown away by how efficient both these groups of students are. How about a big round of applause for these students' great work? And lastly, I would like to thank two individuals that have been my co-pilots on this project. Both Mark Kasperzik, Falmouth Land Use Manager, and Martin Potter, the Parks Assistant Superintendent. Couldn't have done it without you guys, and thank you very much. And now I'd like to introduce Tom Bushy, Principal of Lawrence School.
Morning, everyone. Thanks for having me, and of course, reiterating all the many thanks that have gone around, particularly Jeremiah. On behalf of the schools, I want to just recognize Dr. Doer's support for this collaboration from the very beginning, working with Paul and the small working group going back several years about the multiple phases of the Shiverick Pond project. I also want to specifically reference the historical relationship between Falmouth Public Schools, particularly Lawrence School, and the Webner Group with the 28-year consecutive pond study of Shiverick Pond. And it really is not a small number when you talk about the relationship and the numbers of students who have gone through and had that wonderful experience, outdoor learning opportunity. And projects like this really facilitate more of those collaborations. So we're really looking forward to engaging more with other groups in the community. And this project here is a big part of that. I just, personally, I want to say I'm thrilled to be here and see so many of my, alumni, many of the people, the volunteer groups I grew up with and went to school here. Dr. Taylor hired me and told me not to screw anything up. So hopefully I've done an all right job. But it's just been really great to see this project go on, and just coming and going from the school for the last few weeks, particularly seeing everyone working really hard to make this happen, has been really a wonderful experience. So Mr. Cornock is next up. Thank you very much, and I think it's really wonderful to be here. It's an awesome project.
Hi, everybody. Jed Cornock, Town Planner. I just want to remind everybody that there are agendas on the table here, which include a lot of the work that Paul Dreyer has done for not only this event, but for the Shiverick Pond project as we know it. Paul asked me to say a few words about some of the future projects that will go on with the Shiverick Pond improvement. One of them was directly behind me. So just over my right shoulder will be a large fishing platform. It's also a viewing platform, so it'll be exactly, yep. That platform will be ADA accessible. There'll be an extension from our new shared use path, which will extend from Katharine Lee Bates, or right where the extension of the larger sidewalk happened just a few years ago, all the way down to Palmer Avenue. And so that will allow for a safer place for kids and families to fish and view the Shiverick Pond in its entirety. But in addition to that, our work isn't done. We will move forward with extending a pathway up to Lawrence School and ultimately around the pond itself. So there's a lot of work to be done. And I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Paul Dreyer and the work that he's done on this. I want to sort of break from the agenda just really quickly, because I think Paul provides a wealth of knowledge about this effort and the people who are involved. Something that I certainly can't provide, being so new to the community. So if I may, I would like to call Paul up and have him just say a few words about the Shiverick Pond project.
Good morning, welcome to Arbor Day. I asked not to speak today because this involves so many different people that I'm only one who originally initiated some of the issues on the project. I was an early advocate. However, there were many supporters and truly a community effort. In 2018, a working group was convened with several town representatives that endorsed the concept of the Shiverick Pond Trail project. There's three elements to that: the park, the vista clearing, and the platform that was just mentioned. Many organizations and committees mentioned today supported the project, but I especially would like to thank the Falmouth Department of Public Works and Trees Division, who have contributed greatly to this project. The amount of work they did this week and before that was incredible. So I want to thank everyone in the community for their efforts to bring the first step of this project to fruition that recognizes the hidden asset in the town of Falmouth called Shiverick Pond. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, as you can tell, that this is kind of was a pickup day for today for who is going to be doing the speeches and the talking. But if there's anyone else that would like to make a speech, would be more than happy.
Peter, I'm not into speeches. Hi, I'm Leonard Johnson from the 300 Committee, and also here we have Jessica Rittenauer and Greg Mills is here somewhere. Susie Goodman-Hallstein is here. Vicki Lowell, of course, has been our liaison to the working group. But you might wonder, how did the town of Falmouth end up with this piece of property? And I won't go all the way back to the Shivericks, as Paul could do that much better than I. But going back about 8 years ago, the Bank of America and somebody in their home office in Charlotte, North Carolina, decided that this was a surplus piece of property. It wasn't generating any revenue. And so they decided to auction it off. Now, this parcel was part of the bank property, of course, went all the way back before Katharine Lee Bates Road was here, went all the way back from the village green to the edge here with what was then Lawrence High School. So they decided to have an auction, and the word got out, and the 300 Committee decided, gee, we'd like to preserve this parcel if we could. It's near the center of town. It has near the Lawrence School, of course, protecting the pond, and there's very little open space near the center of town. So we decided we would participate in the auction, which we've never done before. So the board of the 300 Committee decided that we would make an offer of up to $125,000 for this parcel. So we got in contact with the auctioneer, and I asked him, what's going to be the opening bid? And he said, oh, it's going to be $150,000. I said, uh-oh, we're in trouble. So I explained to him that was beyond our horizons, but that we would participate in any way. We'd show up. So this was all, of course, reported in the Enterprise. And what happened was that someone got in contact with Bob Gallery, who was president of the Bank of America of Massachusetts, and he made the decision not to conduct the auction, but to see if the town would like to buy the parcel. So the town decided, we worked with the town on a number of projects, as you well know, decided that trying to get this through town meeting would take way too long a period of time. The bank wanted their money, and so they got in touch with the 300 Committee. And we decided that we would certainly try to buy this parcel if we could. So to make a very long, well, it was actually a very short telephone conversation that Jessica and I had with the people of the bank. And the upshot was that we bought it for $50,000. And I go through all of this in part because you thank the 300 Committee, but you also should be thanking the Bank of America that this was not put on the open market, that here's a big American corporation doing the right thing. And so let's get that fishing platform going. Thank you very much.
Good morning, friends. My name is Jonathan Drury. I'm the pastor at the First Congregational Church in Falmouth, right across the street. I live right across the parking lot with my family and my 3 dogs. And so in the last 12 years, I have walked this route no less than 3,000 times. And it feels so good to see this work being almost completed. It's wonderful. Reverend Samuel Shiverick was the first minister called to the First Congregational Church. In fact, he was not called to the church. He was assigned to the church by the West Parish down in Barnstable, which was the oldest congregational church on Cape Cod. They were established in 1614. So in 1687, Reverend Shiverick came to the church, and he served until 1704. After serving as the pastor, he then became the sexton of the church. He served as the sexton of the church for decades. At some point, the church gave Reverend Shiverick a parcel of land, including the pond. That's why we call this Shiverick's Pond. As the sexton of the church, he had a reputation for periodically hiding in various locations of the church and jumping out and surprising people. He must have done this quite a bit, because 300 years later, this is part of his legacy. So I say this because as you are enjoying the park, if you ever feel that there's a presence in the park just waiting to jump out and surprise you, you'll know why. So I have been asked to offer a dedication, and this is kind of a participatory thing. I would ask that you take at least one of your hands and put it up in the air, okay? And if you're feeling bold, you can put both of your hands up in the air. And then I would ask you to join me as we call out to our Creator. Come now and fill this place, never to leave. Show us how to be fully alive, to experience, to dream, and wake us up to the magic of everyday life. Show us the beauty found all around us. Aid us in seeking knowledge. Keep our hearts open, our heads high, and our spirits free. In the name of creation, we call upon you to bind all malevolence in the air and the fire and the water, in the ground and the underground, in the world unseen. Bind any diabolical force of humanity or nature. Keep this place clean from all impure activity, and bind any interaction and interplay of less than godly spirits. Blessed Creator, we claim your protection over these grounds, over every person here and every guest to this place. Keep Shiverick's Pond Park a safe and sacred sanctuary for all. Awaken us to the brilliance in ordinary moments. Show us goodness in this world. Make us bold. Make us fierce. Make us grateful. Help us to be wild, crazy, and gloriously free. Give us everything we need to be our best selves. Hear our prayers. Amen. And now, as we go forth into the world, let it be in peace. Dedicate ourselves to being the light of the world. May you hold fast to that which is good. Render to no person evil for evil. Strengthen the faint-hearted. Support the weak. Help those in need, and honor all people. May you love and be loved, and count all of your days as blessings. Amen.
Well, that's going to conclude our festivities of this morning. I want to thank all of you for coming today. It shows the importance of the town and how the community can come together for the different projects. I learned a lot this morning just hearing the stories of this site. So as we go forward, let us continue to keep on building and move forward with Mr. Dreyer's project, and get the pond set up with the new dock out there and the new ramp. And as we move forward, I'm sure we'll be doing this once again. So thank you all for coming today. I do want to say, before you do depart, please come on up and have a donut or a pastry, something to drink. So feel free to keep on mingling. I love seeing everybody talking together. This is the time you can do it. So thank you very much.